Hi, how are you doing today? Fancy a walk and a chat? Let's go. So, summer sounds beautiful, doesn't it? But nobody tells you how you can really lose yourself in it. I think summer, or mother, is the hardest season. Not just because I'm in it right now, but because the world our kids are growing up in is nothing like what the world was when we grew up. And trying to parent mindfully or differently to how we were parented amongst this busy is just so hard, isn't it? Would you agree? This is part 2 of a little 3-part mini-series on Maiden, Mother and Crone. So you can go and check out the Maiden video. If you are not a mother right now, you don't have anyone to look after. It doesn't mean you miss this phase. You don't go from Maiden to Crone straight away. There's something in the middle. So even though it says as mother, if you don't have kids, this is still relevant to you. We still go through it. It's all about embracing the beauty of the ageing woman. So this came about, Maiden, Mother and Crone. Where I heard it from was a book called Your Soul Had a Dream, Your Life Is It, by Rebecca Campbell. I love that title. Your soul has a dream, your life is it. So go and check out that for a little bit more information. So Rebecca talks about the Maiden, Mother and Crone in a way of seasons. So I'm just looking up here what she's put for mother. So she's put mother as the summer season. So feminine archetype, mother or goddess. See, so you don't have to be mother, you can be goddess. Medicine, blooming, opening to life, saying yes, pleasure, joy, tasting the sweetness of life. Rapture, ecstasy, adventure, energy, solar, warmth, enjoyment, social play, fun, creativity. Feels full of life and adventure. Sounds good, doesn't it? What a good part of our lives to be in. So journal prompts, she's put, what's rising in you? What are you being called to create? If you were feeling abundant, what would you do? How can you say yes to life? What do you long to do just for fun? What's blooming within you? What brings you pleasure? And what are you being called to embrace? So they're good journal prompts, they're good words for this season. Some of us might look at that and go, it's a lot, I feel exhausted listening to it. But that spark, isn't it? It's finding that spark. And I think sometimes in the mother phase, in the mother season, we lose it. So I've got 5 things that I tell myself while I'm going through this phase. Like I said, I find it the hardest phase of all. And I don't pretend to know it all, but these are the things that I tell myself. So number 1, time for self. This is important in this world, in this day and age. It's so, so important to have time for self. So I love making these videos. I really do. And I've started to make a little bit of a routine now where I walk down here. It takes me 15 minutes to get here. And then do this and then spend some time looking at that view. It's gorgeous, right? Fit something in your day for you. Some time amongst the busy, the real busy. Number 2, keep a piece of you. So I explained this in a lot more depth in the Maiden video, because with the Maiden, that's where you're really finding yourself, isn't it? You're finding out who you are. But when we get into the busy of the mother phase, we lose it. We lose ourselves. And I'm a massive advocate to be mindful of not doing that. Keeping a bit of you, finding that time and keeping a bit of you amongst that busy. So check out that Maiden video because it'll give you a little bit of insight as to how to find you again if you have lost yourself. But basically, what like what she said, you know, what brings you joy? What creative juices need to get flowing again? What do you miss? Or what do you want to start doing that you have never done before but really fancy doing? Find that piece of you. Number 3, remember the feminine in you. So, feminine, what does that mean? It doesn't just mean female. Men have feminine energies. But feminine to me is being strong but soft at the same time. So it's about nurturing and receiving. It's a bit of a slower pace. And I think it's really important to keep that feminine side of you, because for me, I don't know about you, but for me, I feel we're in this masculine world, this real action and doing all the time. And as a mother, we're expected so much. I'm going to come on to this at the last point as well, but we're expected so much, aren't we, from our lives, to be the best mum, to be the best career woman, to be the best housekeeper, you know? So I think keeping that feminine, that softer approach, not the do all the time, the be. We're human beings. Let's come back to being in life and not doing. Give yourself some space. If that's taking some distractions out, like devices and whatnot, do what you need to do. You know what you don't need in your life. You know what doesn't fulfill you. And just work on dropping that and bringing something else in, maybe like this, what I'm doing. Number 4 is quite a big one. I touched on it again in the Maiden video for that phase. It's hormones, understanding your hormones. So for this phase, it's a bit different. Now, like I said in the video, I was 40 before I really understood my periods and why I was a bit of a bitch sometimes, you know, the moody me comes out. I started to really understand it, but I was in my 40s. And so that video I talk about learning that early on. So in this video, if you haven't already learned about your periods and your hormones and what it does to you, then it's about finding that out. If you do know that, it's like parenting, isn't it? Something works, you're like, great, I found something that works, something that'll make them eat the veggies or something that'll make them go to sleep. And then they change, they go through another milestone and it kicks that into touch and you've got to think of something else. So if you've just got a grasp on your hormones, when you hit motherhood, that dreaded word, right? Perimenopause might start kicking up, which it has for me. And the mood swings, something unreal. I'm probably going to do a whole video on perimenopause, but it's difficult and we're talking about it a bit more, which is great. But I do feel we need to understand perimenopause and how it is for you right now in this moment. And when you understand that, the next thing I have started to do is to communicate this. Communicate, not just, so it's not just knowing about your due date, it's knowing about the run-up. When do you dive? When does your estrogen plummet? You'll know that by how you feel. So if you know that, you can tell those around you. You can mark that on the calendar, not just due date, your crash date, right? For me, it's day 26 and maybe a bit earlier, depends from month to month, but it's around that day and I know, and I'll do my work around that. I'll speak to my partner about that. I'll say, we're going into the bad week, the difficult week, so I just want you to be aware. And it's asking them to take up the slack a bit, because in motherhood, we do too much. We do a lot, all the time, go. We're not on the male hormone. We're not on a 24-hour clock. We're on a 28-day cycle. And for at least 1 week of that month, we're not good. And so if you have the option to tailor your month around your hormone cycle, then I advocate to do it. I really do. And communicating that to not only just your partner, this might be controversial, but to your kids too. What do you think of that one? A lot of people maybe feel that's too much. TMI, too much information. Don't tell your kids that. Well, especially if you've got daughters like me, I think it's good to show them how you're managing it. And it's good to communicate so you can connect better and they can understand why you're being snappy and give you a bit more grace. So I think it's actually really valuable to tell your kids, I'm at that stage of the month. Let me know your thoughts on that one. And a biggie, this is a biggie, still in the one about hormones. Cut yourself some slack. Like with going back to the feminine energy, cut yourself some slack, especially in that time of the month. Allow yourself to do less. Give yourself permission to do less. When I say that, what comes up in you? Like, does it feel edgy? Does it feel, oh, I can't have downtime for a week. Like, I can't do that. Just a bit less. I'm not asking you to do nothing that week, although that would be good, right? Back in the day, they had red tents. I don't know if you've heard of that. And the women on the period would go and support each other, who were all on their period at that time, and they would support each other. And I think that is really what we need in our homes too, because we don't have the red tents anymore. Like I said, our world's changed, and it still is changing. And this is what we don't have. So let's build our community in our home, or at least start there. Ooh, I'm falling down these stairs. So the next one, number 5, I find really challenging. It's a really hard one for me. And it's expectation and control. So let me get down these stairs. Expectation and control. I find it really hard because as a mother, we have so much going on, don't we? So much. And for me, I've talked about this a lot in my videos, they end up being to-do lists, and you live in them, and the routines, and you live in them, because there's so much to do. And add in perimenopause and the brain fog, you forget it all. So that's why you live in the list. It makes sense. But it's not how we're supposed to live. And so we put a lot of expectation on ourselves for that reason. All this has to get done, and if it doesn't get done, I can't relax. Do you feel that? That's what I say to myself. I need to get all this done and then I can relax. There's always going to be a to-do list though. And controlling others, controlling situations, and getting really upscuttled, disappointed, upset when things don't go to plan. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with things when they don't go to plan? Now you can go to one extreme and just go, oh, whatever, I don't care. Or you can be all uptight about it, right? There's got to be a common ground. There's got to be a middle way somewhere in the middle, right? So if things don't go to plan, people, your kids, aren't going to plan, aren't doing what they're told. I don't know. I find it so hard. Just take a breather. Take a breath. Just think, does this really matter? This is what I've been telling myself. So yeah, what's your thoughts on that one? Control and expectations. How do you react to that? Do you live in the to-do lists and the routines? That's really tough. So if you've got any ways around that one, I want to know them. So that's it. That's my 5. And this is going out on Friday, the 13th of March. In the UK, it's Mother's Day on the Sunday. So I want to get these out this week for that reason. But I hope that they have helped, and I hope that they can help celebrate Mother's Day for you if you do celebrate it this week in the UK. I hope this has given you just some relaxation around being a mother, because it is hard. I find it really hard. You know, can we go back in these phases? This is another question. Can we go back through the phases sometimes? Can we dip into being a maiden? I think that's what I'm trying to advocate for. Yes, accept you're in the mother phase and it's busy, but find that piece of you from the maiden. Is it still relevant? It might not be, but find that spark in you again. And just a final thought. She's still in there. Summer's just loud. Thanks for watching. Much love. Bye for now.